One of the most common questions I'm asked as a therapist is, how do I find a therapist? And that question can mean a few different things. It might mean, where do I even begin looking? It might mean, how do I find a therapist that's the right fit for me? It might mean, what type of therapy is right for me? So when I hear someone ask that, I really try to break it down into those components. One is, do you know where to begin the search? And often I think the best thing to do is start asking the people you know, who have they seen that they've had good experiences with? Because a trusted referral is, I think, the most reliable way to go and where to begin. Then if they mean number two, who's going to be the right therapist for me? They're talking something a bit about temperament or, a sense of fit, which might relate to number three, which is what type of therapy is the fit for me. So let me go back to breaking those things into three parts. With number one of, where do I find someone? If no one in your referral network has a therapist that they recommend, I'd ask them to ask their friends. Really, call in those favors to expand your network to see who has someone worked with that they feel really good about and have good experiences with. And then once you get that name, call that person and ask them a little bit about why. That's going to give you some clues about number two, that temperament and style fit, as well as number three, what type of therapy they do. Because the style of the personality, it's just like when you have a friend who's dating someone, you think they're a wonderful person, but you'd never really be compatible with them. There's sometimes it's just a little bit of kismet. But sometimes it relates to things like, how direct is the therapist? How engaged are they? How much are they sitting back and sort of making space and listening? A little bit of style differences, which are distinct from the actual type of therapy they practice. They might be asking a lot of questions about your family of origin and the types of patterns that were in your family that led to who you are today. Or they might have a slightly more coaching style, looking into the future of what your goals are. They might be in more of a cognitive behavioral style, where they're interested in how your thoughts and patterns create cycles that you get stuck in, or they might have an attachment focus. I'd say very few therapists are purist in any one style, and most have kind of some degree of an eclectic theory. But I do recommend someone that has a strong theoretical foundation somewhere. I find that if someone's just slightly pulling from here and there, it means they don't have the type of rigorous theoretical foundation that gives them a map to how they're going to help you. So as you're getting that information from that referral source, from that friend or that friend of a friend, and you're getting a sense of that number two temperament, by the time you get to interviewing the therapist, reach out via email or phone, let them know your questions, ask them, even if they draw on a few modalities, what's their main conceptualization? There is good evidence that the higher outcomes in therapy come from that sense of number two, fit, just that you like the person and you have a sense of feeling understood and connected to them. And then the second key parameter to good outcomes is having a therapist with good training. So ask a little bit more about it. It might be some jargon that you don't know, but tell them to translate it to you in everyday speak. If they can't do that, that's a concerning thing, because that's the bridge they're trying to make from theory to helping you as a person. So we go back. Number one, if you don't have any referral sources, or they dry up, or they don't lead to any other options, a very common place to go if you need to use your insurance is your insurance panel directory listing. And that can be a laborious process of going through the listing, searching for the person's name, seeing if they have a website, seeing if they have any alignment with you, sending a message. That can really be quite a process. So my compassion goes out to anyone trying to find a therapist. The Seattle Times did a recent, I guess 2 years ago, not so recent. The Seattle Times did an article on this. They called 400 therapists, and something like only 17% of people replied. So I say that to say that our professional standards needs to go up in terms of our professional responsiveness, as well as just compassion, that if you're looking, hang in there. It can really be quite a sludge to get to a person. If that personal referral network doesn't work, the therapist directly doesn't lead you anywhere. A common place I do tell friends and family is look at some place like Psychology Today, or go to a similar type of directory based on modality. So for example, let's say because of trauma, you'd like to use a common trauma therapy like EMDR. There are directories of EMDR certified therapists. Or if you're looking for couples counseling, the Gottman Institute has a directory, as well as the EFT Association. So another place to look is directories by modality and by the type of training. Um, Let me think what else to say right now. Just noting then that once you get through number one, places to look, then you're looking for number two, that sense of feel. So read their website, see if they'll do a quick call with you, see if they've got a video that gives you that sense of fit. And I really do think it's hard in just a 10-minute call to tell if someone, has that right alignment. So I think it's worth the investment to do a full session, but ask good questions. Talk about what's happening between you and the therapist. Really, really use that time to get more information about what you are looking for. Because if it's not a fit, now you've got a lot more specific, rich information to help you in your search. So that the next person you reach out to or the next friend you talk to, you can say, I didn't like that the person talked so much, or vice versa. I didn't like that they didn't say so little. It gives you some flavor. We've developed some tools taken from research and well-published surveys that we've turned into tools to help people find their therapist. It's a quiz on our website that one of our therapists, Haley, put together from some well-known sources. And then the other thing we can do is if you're potentially a fit with one of our therapists, we've got over 30 clinicians at Puget Sound Psychotherapy. Our intake team is happy to do a free 20-minute call with you and do a custom match to make sure that you're placed with not just the right two kind of fit, but three, the right modality. I hope this video is a good tool for anyone looking for a therapist anywhere in the US. But if you're in the Seattle area or actually any part of Washington State, we've got therapists that can see you anywhere in Washington. We do virtual and in person. Please reach out to Puget Sound Psychotherapy. We'd love to be a support to you.